Good morning. It's Tuesday, the morning of voting in 2022, and it's a bit of a cloudy morning this morning, and a little bit chilly here in Missouri. And this is basically the last chance I have to put some thoughts that have meaning to this election and what it actually means and stands for. In this case, I'm referring my remarks specifically to the leadership, the politicians of the Democrat Party. And let me tell you, in this kind of open letter format here, this election was yours to lose, and you spent 2 years losing it. Let me tell you how. I'm going to start with a little story. Back when I was a kid, in fact, this was long before I could drive, and so I'm retelling it mostly from memory, and so details may be inaccurate. We owned a Suburban, big old 80s Suburban, huge monster. And this SUV, before it was called an SUV actually, well, it was stolen. Someone actually took the key for it off of the key ring of my sister, and then took that big old beast of a vehicle out into the desert and went joyriding with it. Did everything it could to beat this monster of a vehicle down and just damage it and the donuts with it, and just everything they could do to destroy this vehicle. And they then filled it full of gasoline instead of diesel fuel. It was a diesel engine, and it was didn't run right after that. It was he drove it like he stole it. And we actually ended up not keeping that vehicle because of the damage that was done. And really, this is indicative, I think, of what has gone wrong for 2 years. Regardless of the status of the 2020 election, I'm not relitigating that here. The truth is, you spent 2 years driving the country like you stole it, doing everything you can to cause damage to this big old behemoth of a nation. People who believe they're legitimate and believe they legitimately won don't destroy the thing they've gotten. And you've gone out of your way to cancel Keystone Pipeline, destroy oil and gas industry, destroy our energy independence, destroy our border and keep it from being secure, to destroy everything that you can that makes this country unique and special. Literally, you drove the country like you stole it. This could have been your election to lose, really. If you had run on, as they say, kitchen table issues, if you had run the country like kitchen table issues were the ones that mattered, you'd be walking into supermajorities today. Instead, you spent 2 years punishing anybody who didn't toe the party line in whatever way you could. And this is no way to win friends and influence people. Treating the other side not as people with a different opinion of where the country should be, but as your sworn enemies, is no way to convince people to join your side. It's that simple. So, for 2 years, 2 long years, you've been demonizing anybody who didn't have a D by their name. Anybody who had a thought that was not in line with your party line. This does not make the Republicans innocent, I might add. But instead of putting together the effort to build consensus, to govern the nation, you instead went out of your way to destroy and basically burn to the ground anything that you thought might help anybody but you. That's not going to win you elections. You can't really point at your enemy for 6, 10 years and say everybody who's on that enemy side is literally Hitler without starting to act kind of like, without making those enemies. and you've made some enemies. So if you lose this election, and right now the polling looks like you are, it's your fault. You didn't run the nation. You spent 2 years grinding out vendettas. At least that's how it looks like from my front porch. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this means something to you, because if you do win, I hope you start running the country like it's a country, not like it's a stolen vehicle. Sincerely, Brian.